Hey guys, Brian from WorkshopAddict.com, and Metabo HPT just released their new 10-inch brushless battery and corded table saw. This is model number C3610DRJ. Now, currently, this dude has an MSRP of around $699. That should come with a free battery or a free AC adapter. You can then use other promotions to get things cheaper if you continue to look around, but it is priced in the category of the first table saw out there that will run on battery or corded options, and being 10-inch, that keeps your blade sizes common. It's just a pretty awesome situation to see where battery technology is going, and it's nice to have a company that is packing the option to be corded, because let's be real, battery runtime on a large tool like this can cost you on the job site, at home or wherever. When your battery dies and you don't have another one going, frustration sets in, and that's where this corded option really rocks. Now we're gonna go through some quick specs, then we're gonna take a walk around this unit, kind of show you what it has, what it does, what it did great for us, maybe what it didn't, and maybe where it fell short. So stick with us through this. Let's get through some quick specs. First, it's a no load speed of 5,000 RPMs. It will bevel from 0 to 45 degrees. It has a 3 1/8 inch depth of cut at 90 degrees, 2 1/4 at 45 degrees, max rip capacity of 35 inches to the right of the blade, and a max rip capacity of 22 inches to the left of the blade. Yes, you can do a 13/16 dado stack in here. That is awesome. This dude weighs in at 67.3 pounds. Not light, not heavy. What it doesn't have with it, or what I don't have to use with it, is a stand at this point. That would be incredibly helpful, because it's nice to just set it on a stand rather than some sawhorses or a table and go at it. When we were using this, we were using the vacuum port in the back. Worked well. We did a lot of hardwood cuts, we did a lot of dimensional lumber cuts, and we did some OSB, trying to mix it up and figure things out. What I'm surprised at first, just to let you know, is this is a multi-volt 36-volt battery pack. 8 amp hour, runs either 18 volts, 16 volts, fits the Hitachi tools. This guy fits in nice and tight into the battery compartment. So that tells me that they're not planning to upgrade battery sizes, at least with this tool, anytime soon. So when you're using this, if you're doing cuts repeatedly, I mean, you know, cut, turn it on, turn it off, adjust, turn it on, turn it off, go just continually, you're running maybe 30 some cuts through, this battery will get warm, and as you get to that last bar on the battery, it may leave you stranded in the middle of a cut like it did for us on a 2x10. Not a huge deal, because you can switch over to corded, but battery life on this battery is definitely not going to get you a full day on the job site. That's its only downside. For a guy who's using it to just do light trim, trim work, carpentry, anything like that, and you're just turning on once in a great while and off, yeah, you'll get through a full day. And the way we used it, again, cut after cut after cut, was there to test for brushless cutouts and a little bit of longevity per se in that situation, and we did not have any cutouts other than when the battery was completely dead. So let's take a walk around this guy and show you some of the cool stuff that we found. Starting out in the front, you'll see we have a safety switch cover that just stops you from accidentally pushing the power button. We do have a soft start. Take a listen to it. And we do also have a brake here, but you'll notice I pushed the stop button and waited about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds before that blade brake turned on. Not sure why there is a waiting period for it to turn on, but I do really like the blade brake. So this handle here adjusts your blade height up and down, and this wheel, you have a locking lever here, this wheel adjusts your bevel from 0 to 45 degrees. I like the accuracy of using the wheel. It allows you to get to the exact point that you want, lock it into place, and not just have something swinging around down here where you have to try to lock it in place and hold the blade at the right angle. The right side of the table saw has your fence lockout. You have a push stick that's pretty tight in here, which is nice to have. You have a blade guard in your anti-kickback paws. All this stores nicely in here, very solid, so it's not going to fall out in transit, and you do have a handle that you can carry this up against your leg or however you'd like to walk with it. It does come with a lockable outfeed rail that slides in very nice, and if you pull exactly right going out, it will slide out nice also, but more or less it slides in better than out. The back of the saw basically has your dust collection port, or you can leave it open and just allow the sawdust to come out of here. This is a great piece to find a nice 90-degree elbow to point directly down to collect that sawdust or not push it straight out the back of the unit. But with a vacuum on this, it worked excellent. The left side of the saw allows us to store some tools for changing the blade or putting on that dado stack. You also have a place for your battery or AC adapter. And you have 2 feet here so that when you want to stand this saw up, it will stand up nice and travel easily. All right, while we have this standing up, we might as well take a look at the gearing that we have for the fence. That gearing is also on the opposite side, so it keeps that fence nice and parallel to the blade. You have your lockdown for the outfeed table. You have 2 places, and there is a place in the bottom where you can get access to the bottom portion if you have anything that collected down here that's blocking the dust output. And there is more gearing inside for the bevel. Basically, you do have a place that you can attach a stand to. We did not get that stand, and I do not believe they have that stand out at this point, but you can take a look at some of the other mechanisms that are down here and just get an idea of exactly how this is all put together. All in all, there's not much down here, and it's pretty simple. Nice base around it. This is a DC brushless motor, and after use you can see it is pretty clean. I did have my son go through and clean this up really well, and I think that's probably why most of it is clean. But other than that, this thing looks pretty good. On the top of the saw, there are 3 different positions that you can put this fence in. To remove the fence, push both those levers up and it comes out. There are rivets in here. These are adjustable if you find them not to be within spec. Otherwise, you just put that down. Locks into place, pretty sturdy. Now, remove the fence. We can move this out, and I have this locked in place. You can move it up, and you end up with a additional support piece on the fence if you're cutting OSB or anything like that. This is what allows you the 35-inch max rip cut. And you can actually go a little bit more than 35-inch. The tape goes out to a 34.25, but I can see once you start to put this out to max capacity, you start to lose a little bit of its rigidity. It is pretty strong out here. I wouldn't want to be doing cuts like this all day long. You could use a little bit heavier saw per se if you're running larger 3/4 inch OSB through this or anything larger than that. It's easier to push the saw around. But the fence adjusts nice and smooth and rocks. If you want to flip this guy back up, goes right over. If we want to look inside here, we can see there is plenty of room to add a dado stack. You also have your adjustments for your riving knife up and down and any other safeties that you will want to put on that. Again, everything is clean in here, mostly due to a lot of cleaning by my son, but this operates very easily. Maybe a little bit harder single-handed, but the measurement ruler on here, which I do not use, I'll be dead honest with that, but I did test it and it is spot on, which is always nice to see. Really impressed with how this worked. So let's go over some of the other things that I did while cutting and some things I learned. So while cutting, we did not notice a difference between a full battery and the cord. There's basically the same amount of power. When you get down to that last bar, I think I said it a little bit earlier, that's when we started to see a power drop, and you will notice a bit of power difference between that last bar on the battery and the cord. We also stated that the battery got pretty hot after running this for a long period of time, and I think that's going to be normal on any heavy duty equipment like this. But I think that the 10-inch size is a huge advantage for anyone who already has some blades or maybe has a miter or a table saw already that wants to get out there and say, hey, this is just giving me more options. And it does. It's actually great. We ran a lot of walnut through here. We ran some white oak. And while they were shorter pieces, I think that's going to be similar to what some people will run through for some trim pieces, although you might want to run some very, very thick wood through here, which could start to bog the saw down. But again, this is trim pieces and you're using this as a table saw, so you're not trying to ram through as fast as possible any piece of wood. So I think this saw is going to do excellent for anyone who wants to use it on the job site or in finished carpentry. Now, we have said a lot about this AC adapter. We've talked about how big this box is and that, you know, this is what technology allows at this point in time. And the cord that's on this is about 10 to 12 feet. That's excellent in this situation. You have about 5 feet from the plug to your transformer, and then 10 feet or so from there to what plugs into the battery slot. They gave us room to move around, and we could even plug an extension cord into this if we needed more, and it didn't mess with the transformer. That was huge. Having the ability to run off just a battery was great. We could take this anywhere, make a couple cuts. I'm gonna guess that if you were to continually use it, I mean just cut after cut after cut after cut, you're gonna get about 25 minutes worth of cut time. Pretty good. It's all going to depend on what you're cutting. Obviously, if you're beveling a 2x4 all the time or a 2x10, whatever it is, you're going to get less. But I will tell you that if you're watching any of the dimensional lumber, the 2x material going through, we just picked it up from Home Depot. It was wet. I mean, just wet. You could feel it in your hands. And I know that that created a little bit more strain on the saw. But either way, that's kind of today's wood. There's not a lot of great wood out there, especially if you're buying it from a big box store. So, would I buy this saw? Yeah, I think the ability to have the corded and battery powered option is great. Also having the ability of using the same 10-inch blades from some of the other table saws that we have around is huge. So being the first to the market with a 10-inch table saw is great. DeWalt and Milwaukee have their 8 1/4s. Love those things, and they're great. They're portable. They really cut well, but they don't really give you the universal situation of a 10-inch. Now, the one thing that I noticed right off the bat, and it's a little bit different, the top of this saw is textured, and it wears a little bit. You can actually see on the top where some of this is wearing through. Not a huge deal, but it's not slippery smooth. So if you're a guy who likes everything on top slippery smooth, this textured finish up here, which probably is somewhat of a protectant, is there. It didn't seem to grip the wood at all, but it was there. There is a nice miter gauge here, and it has detents on it. It goes from 90 to 30 degrees, and I like the fact that you have detents there. That slides in, slides easy. I realize I'm backwards here, but there is slots in the back of the outfeed table for you to go right through it, so it will pass all the way through. I like that. Now, if you're a guy who wants a sub fence, this sub fence slides right on here and will allow you to use this and do what you need to do for your woodworking projects. It'll move forward and back. Nice little addition. It does store somewhat well underneath. You have to take it apart. It is plastic. I don't know how often I'd want to take it apart and put it back together. But overall, I like this. The price is up there, but I think you're getting a lot for it, and it is comparable to a lot of the other professional grade table saws on the market. So if this is what you're looking for and you want the compatibility for battery operated and corded, look for some deals, look for some sales, and look for the current promotions that Metabo HPT has out on this saw currently. Thanks for sticking with us through this, guys. We had a blast testing this out. We're gonna try to use this more long-term to give you an idea of how it's gonna hold up in that long-term scenario. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, give us a like in this video, and leave us your comments below. We appreciate talking with you. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.